you talk to us a little bit more about the origins of some of the coffees?
Yeah,
like,
for
I know,
sure. Yeah.
Like Nova's like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about your roasts and packaging is there's storytelling there. You're giving credit where credit is due and explaining to people, like you said, educating them about delicious coffee and the people that produce that coffee.
No, love to. Yeah, that coffee Nova is one that we've been purchasing now for 2 years.
Okay.
And it's, a small farm in Rwanda that we've been partnering with. It was Ali who found that relationship. Leticia is our exporter there in Rwanda. She's a Rwandese woman who's doing a lot of great things in Rwanda for coffee, and that she's educating, creating programs to train on coffee production, but then also Q grading and just general understanding of coffee production. And so she has a program by which a lot of Rwandese are going through, in which they become more knowledgeable of harvesting and growing. But she has a relationship with a producer that has been producing this incredible coffee Nova that we've been able to source for the last 2 years. So this is a woman-owned farm. It's a woman exporter, and they're all Rwandese, and then it arrives to us. And it's a delicious coffee. Has notes of strawberry, which are very much pronounced. And then like milk chocolate. So it's just delicious when you have it as an espresso, as a pour over, but then if you have it with milk too, it's also delicious. It's a natural processed Rwandese coffee, so it just means that it was sun dried. The cherries were, but that's just one of those relationships. And we've just Ali was just there for a period of about 2.5 weeks. With Leticia and the team there. And he's the lucky one now. He gets to go back there and get to hang out with our producers. But it was an opportunity for us to kind of, not only check out the harvest and see how, things are handled in the farm, but then also, say what else can we do, how else can we contribute. But, we committed to, we probably doubled our purchasing of their coffees again. So this would be our 3rd year. And that's what we look for. We want to find smaller producers, want to highlight them, and we want to put some spotlight on them. And if another roaster starts to use them, great. If the more attention they get, great. We love that. That's just one coffee. Another coffee is one that we're working with now, and we've got a plan to work with them for the next 3 years. There are 230 farmers in Rwanda, and basically there's a washing station that they're trying to rebuild.
Okay.
And so for the next 3 years, they're doing a natural processed Kenyan coffee. It's called Rui Rui Ru. That's tough to say.
Yes.
Rui Rui Ru. Rui Rui Ru. And so this natural Kenyan, which natural Kenyans are really rare to get, but a delicious coffee. But the objective and the goal and the reason for purchasing this, outside of the taste of that coffee, was really also the impact of what it is that we're looking to do with them. And so, here goes farmers looking to redevelop their washing station. The washing station is the tool by which they wash and prepare their coffees to get it out. A natural process is kind of like the more traditional approach, and it's the one that is cost effective. It's also ecological. It's the best way because you're not using water. You're not going to waste water, basically. So even from that side, it's you can serve on water, but it's also what happens in that case is that it's laid in the sun, it dries up, and then the sugars on the outside, they start to ferment. And that's just one side of it. They'll probably continue to do that process, but the majority of what is sold will probably be washed coffees. The majority of the coffees that we get here in North America are probably washed coffees. And naturals are very rare. We kind of have a practice for Boon Boona of purchasing a good amount of naturals, just because one, we like that funky, taste and that experience of those coffees sometimes. But that washed coffee is what they're trying to get to. And so by us committing to purchase their coffees for the next 3 years, they're going to reinvest that into that washing station to become another avenue for them to generate revenue.
That's powerful.
And so, part of the reason as to why we focus on just Africa, outside of it being just a massive continent and tons of different, coffee flavors and experiences and just incredible things happening, allows us to be a little bit more hyper-focused about the things that are going on and programs and projects that are going there that we can go and support. such as this project and, supporting other producers like that of Leticia's team. And that's, that's just two of them. We've got community lot approach in Ethiopia. We've got, a Bakanza joint, which we've been working with for the last 3 years in Uganda. And so it just kind of goes on. And then if it's not even on the sourcing side of it also, on the front end, so, coffees like Beleka and Jebena, 5% of those proceeds go to 2 different local organizations. One is Feast, the other one is Vision House. And so even finding causes locally to support as well. So.
There's so much give back in everything that you're doing. Threads of educating and trying to be into the community. So thank you for that. It's beautiful.
Well, appreciate it, but we're grateful for it. Grateful for all the support.
Good. You were speaking a bit about natural process and a wash process and how that impacts the flavor. I'm assuming there's a big role in the end result depending on the process.
Yeah, between the two for sure, huge difference. I mean, it'd be crazy if you could have a natural coffee and a wash coffee, the same tree, it will taste completely different. And that is awesome. That's a lot of fun. We actually just did another round of what that looks like. So natural process decaffeinated. And so Dürfedes, which is a blue stickered Ethiopian coffee that we have at the cafe.
Popular one.
It's a very popular one. We've had it for since we started the cafe, basically. And that was our primary espresso for a long time. But that's a natural Ethiopia Dürfedes. But that coffee, we decaffeinated that. And when we go about decaffeinating, that's also a process called is a Swiss water process, which is kind of dunking the coffee beans inside of water, and then slowly it comes out of it. Versus the other approach, which is more chemical based. So we definitely wanted to go more the Swiss water process approach. But to taste the two of those, so we've got the natural regular with the caffeine in it, and then we've got the decaffeinated Swiss water process of the Dürfedes, same coffee, and those flavor profiles change too, but it's still really good on the decaf side. And so you can have these types of the same tree, same coffee, but depending on how you process it will create differences. And that's really about the fermentation process, how long it's been sitting out for in the sun, how thoroughly it was washed, because then you can get in between this natural and wash, and there's kind of a gray area which is called the honey processed area. And then you can get into anaerobics and where yeast is added and all these other funky
chocolate as well.
Exactly.
We have our post-harvest processing, and that plays a big role in the flavor of the final product. And so there's so many similarities. Between the two industries.
without a doubt, and practices and in the way you all approach chocolate and cacao, is obviously the honorable way of doing things. And so it's beautiful to find kindred spirits in the space of the worlds of which we're in. So no, it's a great piece for sure. But love the variety and the flavor profile and just the experience of so different than having one type of coffee and then having it as an espresso versus that of a French press versus that as a V60 or having it in the Jebena. They're all going to taste different, or that of a cold brew. They're all going to taste different even though it comes from the same thing. Maybe it's not very pronounced differences, but there's going to be differences because of the amount of water to coffee ratio and just the different, complexities of things that play out. So,
how do you then prefer your coffee?
That's complicated.
Yes.
It's complicated.
Does it change day to day? What is your go-to drink most days?
Yeah, most days drip.
Okay.
Yeah, just straight up a black cup of drip. I'll just whatever it's in there. Let me get some of that, and then I love to let it cool down. I don't drink it super hot, so I'll give it about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Let it cool down, and then I'm starting to drink it over the course of an hour, and then I'll go re-up and keep doing that. And so on a day like today, I probably had about 3 or 4 cups of drip.
Wow.
And then I was really excited to try our espresso. We have a new single origin espresso on, and so I was like, you know what, let me try that. And actually, it's Nova. Nova's on single origin espresso right now. We're about to change it.
Go in and get the Nova.
Yeah, and that's on espresso right now, and so that was really good to have. So there you go, another 2 more. And then I think I had a little 8-ounce latte because I just want a little bit of milk today. So,
coffee heaven.
Yeah, it's coffee heaven.
I guess you're talking a little bit about the popcorn and nuts and things that happen with the ceremony, and even your preference of a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Do you go about pairings in a specific way, and how would you, I guess, pair like one of our chocolates with your coffee? And would you drink it hot? Would you drink it cold?
So what I enjoyed was actually when we did our tasting at the Seattle Cafe, and we got to a lot of that exercise was yourself and Ali and the teams behind y'all just going through and really dialing it in. But I remember that experience of just trying chocolate with drip, trying the chocolate with espresso, and it was something that I hadn't done before. I'll be honest, if I'm having chocolate, I'm having it by itself, and I'm just breaking it off and just enjoying it. This to do it together, it took it on a different trip. It was a different experience altogether. It was one where it was like, this is a way to really be able to kind of like start playing with different flavor profiles, to really get a sense of kind of like, what else can happen? What happens when 2 worlds kind of collide? And I definitely, I'm going back to that space more and more often now. And so now if I'm having my drip, I'm like, all right, maybe have a little bit of jcoco with that too. I think that the 2 go well together, maybe because they maybe stem in the same fashion in these very tropical, beautiful places. And I think that also in the simplistic, way of them, there's simplicity in them as well. And so the complexity is more of like where they're from and their origin and how they were handled. But in essence, the nature of both of those things are very, very natural, and to have them come together, I think that it just allows for this opportunity to try something that is completely different. Of course, we have the non-traditional kind of way of consumption of chocolate and coffee, which is a nice mocha. Yes. But outside of that, I think the 2 have this beautiful history that somewhat resemble one another, and when combined, like I was saying, like I think it was really in that exploration period in which seeing that approach is really similar to that of the coffee, and knowing when brought together, the experience of my that I'm getting is really what's kind of the very satisfying experience of it all. But I'd be remiss to say that this isn't, if I could have your chocolate all the time at the cafe and it was just something naturally with each espresso was going out, might be not a bad idea.
Might not
be a bad idea.
Explore some more things, but luckily we have this gift set in combination to allow people kind of the taste of that and to explore it. We're really excited about it, and this is building off of that event and all the cupping that we've done together. So I'm hoping that people will get an opportunity to share that with their loved ones too, or based upon the pairings we suggested, explore their own pairings with it as well.
Without a doubt. And I see that your favorite one made it into the box as well.
It did.
By chance.
Just
by chance. Just so happened to be Nova. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And Berica also, as the coffee itself, has notes of graham crackers in it. It is a delicious coffee, it's right there on that medium side of things. But, with the, paired and played with the different chocolates, you get so many different opportunities to just kind of mix and match as well. You'll get quite a few cups out of that bad boy, out of these coffees, and you've got a good amount of chocolate here too as well to be able to mix and match as well. So I just think that it's definitely going to be a really great experience and treat for anyone that gets one of these boxes, and it's so beautifully done too.
Thank you.
Jeez.
Thank you. I guess 2 more questions would be, what would you hope people experience based upon this collaboration that we've done together in this gift set? And what is one of your big hopes for the next, couple of months or the future? What are you looking forward to?
I think the one thing that I would say, at least for folks to take away from it, is here goes a collaboration by 2 entities trying to do something different in their fields. And to show how when you come together, when you collaborate, how many great things can be multiplied. As small businesses, we can all kind of be in our own world and kind of be siloed in a ways. But when you do that outreach, like the outreach that you do, Kia, with us, and what the team here does with us, it offers an opportunity for others to explore.
Well, I guess the only last shout out would be if people wanted to learn more about Boon Boona, where can they go?
BoonBoonaCoffee.com, this box right here, our cafe spaces. We're definitely also can be found in a few grocery stores, QFC, Central Co-op and such, and you may find us at another cafe location in your neighborhood, work and collaborating with others, and keep an eye out on us on social media as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Without a doubt.
That's it.